morning. Today's Tidbit is sponsored by three great corporate members. They are Josh Tucker, attorney at law, Lanier Deal and Proctor, CPAs, and the Statesboro Kiwanis Club. Great members and great supporters of everything Statesboro. Growing up in the South, we all have fond memories of visiting the families of our dear friends. I cherish none more than the times I visited Mutter Schumann's in Hagen, Georgia. Mutter was the grandmother of two of my dearest childhood friends, Francis and Scott Allen. Mutter's real name was Eunice, and she was a Deloach. By the way, I have an extra copy of the red-colored Deloach genealogy book, and it's for sale. Let me know. When you went to Mutter's, be prepared to stay a while. A certainty was a very competitive game of canasta in her sunken sunport, lined with hundreds of ceramic liquor decanters. The ones that were in the shape of Elvis or a flying duck. Certainly you remember those. Her collection was infamous. Mutter was a lady way ahead of her time, and she lived a very good life to the age of 103. She graduated from 1st District A&M School in 1921. She and her husband, Henry Schumann Jr., owned the livestock market, Schumann Oil Company, Schumann Implement Company, and was the postmistress of Hagen, Georgia for around 40 years. Christmas was not complete until we loaded up a vehicle and traveled to Hagen to see Mutter's Christmas decks. She was years ahead of Roy Thompson in filling a city block with intricate Christmas scenes. She had someone build her a complete Santa workshop, and there were elves inside that moved. This began in the 1960s. The town of Hagen was named for Miss Susanna Hagen Smith around 1890 when the railroad came through the county. Here is her picture with her first husband, Simon Bruton, who was killed in the Civil War. Her second husband, Marshall Smith, owned the land where Hagen was founded, so he was given the honor of naming it. Evans County is a new county in Georgia, established in August of 1913 by an act of the Georgia General Assembly. It came from lands that were once part of Tattnall and Bullock counties. It was named for General Clement Evans, who was a member of the Georgia State Senate in 1859 and served in the Confederate Army in the Civil War. He was also a Methodist minister. I rode over to Claxton last week to pay a quick visit to one of my favorite bakeries in the world, Womble's. Womble's Bakery is the home of Georgia Fruitcake Company. It was founded by Ira S. Womble Sr., who began in the baking business as apprentice to Savio Toast, the founder and owner of the Claxton Bakery. Claxton is famous for fruitcakes, and I'm one of those that dearly love them. The Claxton Bakery is now owned by the Parker family, but it was begun by the Italian immigrant Savio Tost. He built the bakery in 1910 and the Italian Garden Theater in 1927. During World War II, he changed the name to the Tost Theater because of the hatred of Mussolini in the United States. Tost's contributions to the school, the churches, and civic improvements are legendary in Claxton. Here is a postcard of the Hotel Claxton that I purchased on eBay a few weeks ago. There is no information on this hotel in Images of America, Evans County. If anyone knows more about this grand structure, please give me a call. The town of Claxton got its name just like many towns did. An application was made to the United States Post Office Department for the town to be called Hendricks. Reamer Hendricks made a proposition to railroad officials that he would provide a well and pump free of charge on his land so that trains could stop for water. When the Savannah and Western Railway laid track, it went through his land. The name Hendricks was already being used in Upson County, Georgia. The name Claxton was then submitted and accepted, and it's said to honor Philander Priestley Claxton, a noted educator of the time. Mr. Claxton was the United States Commissioner of Education under 3 presidents, Taft, Wilson, and Harding. He wrote the legislation authorizing rehabilitative education for World War I veterans, and he developed the first plan for federal aid for vocational education. Praise the Lord. There are 2 simply charming other towns in Evans County. Daisy is on the eastern boundary of the county and was named for Daisy Edward Miller. The downtown area of Railroad Street is lined with beautiful period homes. Belleville was founded when the railroad came through this area in 1890, and it grew with the development of the naval stores and lumbering operations nearby. The town was named for James Bell Smith's mother, Miss Fanny Bell, who was an Irish immigrant. It's still one of the most charming villages in Georgia. A fun tidbit about Evans County is that Josie May Rogers was the first elected woman sheriff in Georgia, and possibly the nation. She was sworn in June of 1940 to fill the unexpired term of her father, Jesse Durrance. It was noted that she carried her Smith & Wesson in her purse and not on her hip because she wasn't interested in dramatics. Josie May would have been sheriff when US 301 was in its heyday as a thoroughfare between Maine and Florida. Here's a fabulous old postcard with a portion of the 301 route included, as well as the C&J Cafe. This restaurant was owned by the Durham family. During my lifetime, I can remember when traffic on 301 was bumper to bumper. It was a main source of income for so many of us in this area. Thanks so much. Bye.